Welcome to Camp Chaos, where we celebrate the wild ride of modern womanhood.
Join us as we dish on motherhood, life's ups and downs, and all things pop culture that we know you want to talk about.
With special guests and expert insights, we're here to empower you through the chaos of everyday life.
Consider this your ultimate escape from the hustle and bustle, and as always, parental guidance suggested.
Camp is now in session.
Happy 1 year anniversary to us.
We made it to 1 year. We are officially 1 year old.
Which is crazy.
It's so crazy. Gus this morning was like, what do you mean 1 year? He's like, you've been doing this shit for 1 year? I said, yeah. He's like, you've been in my living room for 1 year? I said, yeah. Sorry. Are you going to up our rent? Yes. You have been with us for 1 year. We have made it 1 year.
We have been sitting in these chairs for 1 year. And it's so crazy to think back, like when we sat in these chairs for the first time recording our first episode, that we recorded 4 times.
Oh my God. Literally 4 times. Part of it was because nerves. Part of it was because malfunction of technology and equipment.
Which seems like it's an ongoing thing.
It's still a problem. Here we are a year later.
But today we just want to do, we've got it down. But today we just want to do like a reflection on our year. Like this has been so huge for us. I don't want to say life-changing, but it has been life-changing. Like I feel like what were we doing before this?
What were we doing before this? And now one day of my week is completely dedicated to you. It is life-changing. Yes.
So we are going to take this time to really just reflect on the podcast this past year, everything that we've been through together. So let's get started. What is one episode that changed you or stayed with you emotionally?
Okay, I think when stayed emotionally will be Joanna and how heavy her episode was, sharing Will's diagnosis of pediatric cancer and his passing. Like I felt like that was I felt like such an honor for her to share that with us and on our platform. And it's something that I will never forget. Like I think about it probably once a day. It's just something with my, after becoming a mom. But I felt like, wow, somebody takes us that serious to come down and sit with us and talk about such a heavy topic.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I feel like she was also so open and vulnerable with us. And we sat with her for 2 hours, everybody cried. The subject matter was so serious, but then I think for us to sit there and understand that, like you said, someone really trusted us to share this story. And I know Joe has shared that story, obviously at the different times that they celebrate Will and Will's birthday that we went to and all those things. But for her to sit there in long form and share every moment in detail like she did, it just felt like, wow.
A big honor.
It was a huge honor.
Okay. What was your biggest "this is worth it" moment?
Okay,
okay, we made it moment.
I don't know that we shared this this much, but our interview with Kenny Silva made it onto national television on the Tamron Hall show. And I was the one who got the email from the producers of the show being like, hi, we want to use a clip from your Camp Chaos podcast with Kenny Silva on the Tamron Hall show. And I watch the Today Show every morning. So I'm like, excuse me. I always go to the from to make sure that it's not from bot.com, Gmail. And it was legitimately from the Tamron Hall show. And we had to sign releases and all these things. And I'm like, wow, this is a moment where these people think we are legit enough interviewers to use our interview with Kenny as their – it was on the Tamron Hall show, their clip.
And their only clip. And Kenny. She's done so many podcasts.
Her only clip.
Yeah, I will say my sister-in-law texted me and she watched it live. I don't even have cable, I don't think. I don't watch the news. I get my news on my phone. So for me, I was like, okay, yeah, I'll sign. What am I signing away? Great. And then my sister-in-law text messaged me oh my God, I just saw you on my TV while I'm sitting here having coffee. That was oh shit, hey girl, we did it. Yeah, it was kind of cool.
Yeah, that was a cool moment.
Yeah.
What's something you've learned about yourself from doing this podcast?
Oh my God. I mean, other than the fact that I say the same thing over and over again, I learned that we have a lot of haters out there. People don't like us on TikTok for some of the maybe controversial things that we say. No, but I think maybe I've learned I'm actually surprised. If I did this by myself, I probably would have quit a long time ago.
Of course, 1000%.
So I've learned that I need somebody to motivate me to keep going and keep showing up.
Same.
Which is definitely not a positive. I'm God, thank God Taylor's coming over. No, but I'm actually proud of us that we've like,
Yeah.
because I think a lot of podcasts never make it. Like they say something like 90% of podcasts never make it past episode 20. Don't quote me on that. I have TikTokers, like I probably just made that up. But I do feel proud that like, wow, like we're sticking this out.
Yeah. I think something I learned about myself is that I've always been afraid to be open. Like we've talked about this privately.
Yeah.
It's like be open and share because I always think like nobody cares about me or what I have to say, which that certainly still is the case. But I do think like I've learned that it's okay to like share and be open because there is someone I'll connect with, like even if it's just one person.
Yeah.
So
no,
I think
I feel
that's
like
what
you've
I've
even done that
learned.
on your personal page. Okay, was there a moment that you thought, I don't know if I could keep doing this? This morning while you're pumping? Every single day.
Every week when we
Every
come
Sunday before the episodes come out? Yeah, no.
No, I mean, I think there's a lot of moments like that when you're in this business. It's a new business
It'd
for us.
it'd be very easy to quit.
It'd be so easy to quit.
Yes.
You know, and there's like so many moments where we're like, what are we doing? Like, how do we make this better? And we don't have the answers. So there's so many of those moments. But I think like when we keep going past those moments, it's like,
well,
oh, yeah,
I will
we can
tell
do
you,
this.
Zane for Mother's Day, like they said, like, what does your mommy do like for work? And he wrote Camp Chaos podcast. And did I not tell you this?
I don't think so.
Oh my God, I still have it. And so now I'm like, well, now I can't quit. Like, shit. No, it's very sweet.
What does your mommy do? She quit her Camp Chaos
She tried. She tried.
podcast.
Wait, I love this question. How has podcasting changed your view on motherhood?
Oh my God. I feel like that, you know me, like my view on motherhood has changed so much just because I feel like I just did what the rule book said, you know, like I'm very, what does my doctor tell me? Aye, Captain.
You were
go. Yes.
You were going.
I
with
was
the herd.
going. Yes. And so now having interviewed so many incredible guests that have different views and different opinions, I'm like so open to like learning more, questioning more things,
asking why, I think,
incorporating different practices into motherhood, all of it. Oh, I think it's completely changed.
Well, and I feel like the other biggest thing, like, which it's always been for us, but like just our view on motherhood is like, so you think of motherhood of just being like you and your children in that connection and sure with your partner. But I think like so much more with the community. Like, don't you feel so much like stronger in your community?
Oh, 100%.
Through this?
Yeah. And I feel like people look to us not as like
there's any
an authority on motherhood, but they look to us as like, okay, these girls are,
they have a voice.
They're talking
they just have a
things.
microphone. Yes, exactly.
And so it's so nice. I mean, this is like our lives as being moms. That's our most important job. So I think it's changed everything for me about motherhood. What's the hardest you've laughed while recording?
I feel like I peed my pants more than you did when you were pregnant. I mean, pillow talks, like sitting down.
Sometimes I'm like unwell.
Yeah, no. And I feel like it's a lot when we're like not recording too. But like it's, I mean, so much.
I think the pillow talks like really get us.
Well, and I feel like it was like we thought we were going to be so guest driven from the beginning. And then it was like, no, this is so much more fun. And our audience loved connecting that way. And like, we got such positive feedback and it was quite frankly such an easier setup. I'm like, let's just go upstairs.
In the bed.
Yeah. And especially during your pregnancy, everything just felt easier.
Well, and then it's, you know, there's one part or one thing to having a guest in your very like an interview format, but when it's just you and I, it is literally like we are shooting shit at lunch and we just happen to put mics in front of us, which has been great and also a detriment to us on the internet.
Yeah, seriously.
Which guest intimidated you the most and why?
Okay, I have a two-part for this.
Okay.
The first guest, because and we'll get to who, but like when we had our first guest, it was like you and I had recorded maybe 2 episodes before, not released a single episode.
Yeah, I didn't release a single.
And we slid into somebody's DM who was like very much in pop culture and like having a moment still is very relevant. And she said, yeah, I'll be there. And it was like, what are we doing? We've had so many tech issues. Like that was just very, very intimidating of like, do we got like, I went and got flowers. I mean, I was like very stressed about that. Yes. And especially somebody coming in my home. Are my kids tucked away? Or like, is everything going to go okay? Yeah. The other, so that one was Alex Hall. I will say that. Like, I was just and she was so cool though. I'm like,
she was so cool. And the fact that she trusted us and we were like, hi, we would love to interview you. No, we've never interviewed anybody before. And please come on our podcast. We haven't released it yet.
I knew we were going to be friends with her though when she responded. And she's like, the fact that you guys have a champagne bottle and a pump in your picture, like, yeah, I'm coming. And I was like, okay, we'll be friends. But like true intimidation, like not only was Alex gorgeous and yes, but Kenny Silva, when she walked past this house and we were like, oh my God, who is that gorgeous model? Like outside. I mean, we were like blown away by how beautiful she is.
Yes.
You think she's pretty in pictures? She is like 10 times prettier in person.
And Kenny has like such an aura about her
Yes.
that you're like, you don't want to mess with her. And also like, you don't know what's going to come out of her mouth of just like.
You didn't know that she was going to be so sweet and warm.
And like
badass.
Yes,
Yeah,
like
she's
she's everything you would think
fierce.
wrapped in one, and she gives that energy. Like physically, when you're sitting with her, is like
okay. So we agree.
Yeah, I agree.
So I've always felt like I'm pretty in tune with my body, but as a mom, I realized I couldn't just keep guessing. I wanted to know what was really going on inside. That's why I joined Function Health, and it has completely shifted how I think about my health. Function gives you access to over 160 tests that look at everything: your hormones, your thyroid, your heart, your liver, inflammation, even toxins and nutrient levels. It's way more than just your standard checkup, which by the way, only covers about 19 biomarkers. With Function, I finally got a full picture of my health, not just what's fine, but what could be optimized. One thing that's really stood out to me, I saw exactly how stress was impacting and why I've been feeling a little bit more drained and sluggish and fatigued than usual. It gave me a real insight about how I can start supporting myself better, especially in the nonstop season of motherhood. And Function doesn't just push supplements or prescriptions, it's clear, unbiased data so you can make an empowered decision. So it's $4.99 a year and it includes 2 full rounds of testing. These same tests could be up to $15,000 through traditional routes. And right now, you can get up to $100 off your membership by going to functionhealth.com/campchaos. But hurry, it's only the first 1,000 listeners. That's functionhealth.com/campchaos. Come take control of your health with me. I promise you will never regret it.
Okay, you've heard us rave about ZBiotics pre-alcohol probiotic drink. I have super exciting news. Their team just released another product to help get more fiber into your diet without changing what you eat. Fiber diversity supports a balanced gut microbiome, yet only 5% of Americans get enough fiber in their diet. If you're like me, it's probably because it's really hard to do. That's why I started using ZBiotics Sugar to Fiber probiotic drink mix every day. The PhD microbiologists over at ZBiotics understand that 95% of Americans don't get enough fiber. So they genetically engineered a probiotic drink mix called Sugar to Fiber. Sugar to Fiber turns sugar in the foods I eat into a prebiotic fiber called leave-in fiber. It's really hard to get leave-in from a typical diet, and it helps to improve the amount and diversity of fiber my body receives. I started drinking ZBiotics Sugar to Fiber because I like having a way to get closer to my daily recommended dose of fiber without needing to change my diet. It's super easy. Every day I just put a pack of Sugar to Fiber in my morning water, and I just love knowing I'm supporting my gut health with this routine. I think I've said it before, but gut health is super important to me, and we've talked about it on this podcast. That's why I'm adding ZBiotics Sugar to Fiber to my daily routine this summer. It's a really easy change to make, and it helps ensure that I'm getting the diversity of fiber my body needs. So go to zbiotics.com/camp and use code CAMP at checkout for 15% off any first-time orders of ZBiotics probiotics. ZBiotics has a 100% money-back guaranteed, so if you're unsatisfied for any reason, which you won't be, they will refund your money, no questions asked. Thank you, ZBiotics, for sponsoring this episode. If Camp Chaos were a TV show, what would be the title of season 1? Okay, I think it would be what our first episode title was, which is Welcome to the Chaos. Because we're
Getting
like
to know
welcoming
us.
people into this, but like we're also welcoming ourselves. Like we don't know what we were doing.
Yeah, I feel like it was like such a learning, and I feel like finding our voice, like how you were saying, like trying to figure out like, and knowing that our voices change weekly, even if we, say one thing one time. But I think getting to know us and getting to know our audience.
Yeah.
Right? Welcome.
Yeah. Welcome. Here we are. And it's very chaotic here. So buckle up. What is something the audience doesn't know about the making of this podcast? Well, the audience doesn't know a lot. I think the audience doesn't know like how actually invested we are. Like I think it's such a part of our lives, and like you and I talk every single day, all day about ways to make it better, like what we think people would want to hear, what we want to hear, like how we can improve socials, how we can improve. And I don't think I think sometimes, like, even for me when I'm looking at now, not now, but like before listening to podcasts, it was like, wow, how easy. Like, grab a mic and start talking.
Sit down.
And we are so emotionally more invested in this than I think
people would think. Well, and I feel like, you get a reel on socials like TikTok or Instagram, and like people just like chew you out, more so on TikTok. Like Instagram, I feel like they're our friends. But like people just like come for you, and it's like you have no idea like how much thought we put into the episodes and our conversations and what we're putting out there. And like you took a little spicy 20-second reel of us talking about preschool and like try to blow up the internet with it.
Right.
Like, come on. But I think like of just how passionate you and I are about it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, what's the weirdest DM or listener message we've gotten? I will say we've gotten so many incredible listener DMs about like relating to whether that's our birth story, losing a parent, like just really heavy, sweet things.
Yeah.
And I actually have an album of screenshots. I don't even know if I've showed you, which we should put up. Like, because I always think they're like, so like one day we'll have all of our reviews. So I think of them our reviews. But the weirdest,
I know what you're gonna say.
The guy that tries to send us money,
he tries
every week. He's trying to send us money
in different avenues
on our reviews, TikTok, Instagram, emails,
YouTube comments,
everywhere. And I'm like, Taylor, just send him the PayPal account. You're like, he's trying to steal our money. I'm like, maybe he's trying to fund this.
Absolutely not. And you're like, just do
fall
it.
for it. I know. I'm that one that like picks up the phone. I'm like, yes, here's my social.
Oh my God. Okay. What is a moment where we handle chaos like a team?
You know what I feel like was, I mean, I don't know if it was like a team, but it was like something that's like a core memory is our photo shoot that we did together of like having you and I with like all of our kids. And like that was a shit show.
It was a shit
Our photo
show.
shoot was a complete shit show, but we had a vision and we were like, no, we've got to execute. And like, if you look at that, it was like, I look back and like, we need to do that again. Number one, we have to book that. But it was like, that was really well done.
It was really well done. And you know what's so crazy?
And you went with the flow on so much, which is like, I think of you as type A, but like you let me do a lot.
Oh yeah. No,
you're like, yeah, I'll wear that. I'm like, okay, can you wear this? You're like, yeah, I'll wear that. I'm like, you weren't butting my head. Like,
okay, which goes into like the next question of like, what do you think makes our dynamic work? But like, even when we were doing that photo shoot, like we had been working together for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was
like
brand new.
It was brand new, and we were still able to like have this really cool shoot and
with children. It's not just like you and I vibing out, like having fun. It was like with so much chaos around us.
Well, and we needed to really make this work because we were investing one day into like all of this content. And just a little behind the scenes thing is like when we signed with our network, they were saying, oh my gosh, we always have to change the artwork when we sign a new podcast. And they didn't touch our artwork. They loved it. It was just like,
it worked.
It worked.
It was good.
We knew. So I guess that brings us to the next question is, what do you think makes our dynamic work?
I don't know. I mean, okay, I feel like you have a lot more like structure and you have an interview background. Like, let's just be honest, you guys, I don't fucking have an interview background. I just like shoot shit. My mom's like, stop saying the F word in a microphone. I'm like, why? And I'm like, Taylor needs to say the F word more.
I know.
Get some passion. But like, I think that there's a good balance. Like you keep like us moving and grounded and on track. And I am like blowing up the ship.
No, you are not. No, I think like also what makes our dynamic work is I like had such a good, weird gut feeling about when I approached you about it in the first place. But I remember when we were sitting at Coffee Dose, I was like, if we do this, like nothing can affect our friendship. Yes. And I think that that's really hard to do is like to be in business with your friend can be really hard.
Yeah.
But the way that we like balance.
Well, and like, I don't think there's ever been a time, or maybe there has, of like where like I feel like you're irritated with like my level, or I'm your like
100%.
It's like you
there's
need it,
and you
I
can
need
feel
it.
that. Like you can feel when there is moodiness or irritability. And I don't feel like we have.
And you birthed a baby in the first year of our podcast too,
which
so like the mood should have been very high.
No, I just feel like I like love this so much. I love doing it with you so much. You've brought so much out of me that like would have never.
Your parents probably
come out.
They're like,
no,
get that girl.
No, they don't. I think you've like made me more confident in myself.
Yeah, I feel like it's been a good like balance. Too,
yeah,
of like you keeping us grounded in some way. And I'm like, no, we're also going.
Yeah, well, because we have to. We need a kick in the pants. Has podcasting brought us closer together?
Oh, for sure. In every way. You're in my bed every week. Yes. Physically, yes. Emotionally, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like Dawson came out and she was like, "Are you my mommy?"
Because
like,
she heard you talking
yes, in
as
every
much.
way. Yeah.
Well, and I think that's also what makes the dynamic work. Like as co-host of a podcast, when you are legit friends who spend this
you
much
can't
time,
fake it.
You can't fake
No,
it.
you either have like a connection and chemistry or you don't.
Yeah, and we spend so much time
Yeah.
together now, so much time, like, and talking so much. We know our kids so much better. We know our family dynamics so much better.
Too much.
I'm in some arguments here.
You're in it all.
I'm in it all. So I would say yes. What do you hope year 2 of Camp Chaos brings?
Gosh, I mean, I feel like we've already done such a good job of like establishing our community like within our little local area. Like
Right.
I do feel like we have an authority in some way.
Yes.
I just think continuing to grow that would be my biggest hope.
Yeah, I think also we had so much fun doing that Bar and Bubbles event. Like I
Yeah.
would love to meet
In-person
more
events,
listeners
yeah.
in person.
And like also bringing the podcast like to other places. Like we were somewhere yesterday and we're like, could you imagine podcasting here? Like just
Yeah, I think
we
like
need to leave the house. We need an invite. We will go to the opening of an envelope if you invite us.
wait, but also like would be so fun to somehow expand to our friends on the East Coast. Like I would
Yeah.
love to like go to
We need to go to New York, yeah.
and start filming with people.
Let's
So
just
if
tell-
you're in New
let's
York
just tell our husbands.
and you just want to chit chat with us, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter
that's
what
up.
you do. We
Yeah,
just
we're on
love
our way.
to talk to
Yeah.
you.
We're booking.
Speaking of dream guest.
Okay, I feel like people that have told us who they want on us on our podcast would be Morgan Stewart. Like people have said to us, like, "Oh my God, could you imagine if you had Morgan Stewart?" And she is a badass. She is a fashion icon. She is a mom.
She's a businesswoman, good humor.
Yeah, like witty. I think her banter is so fun. Like I think she would be really cool. But I'd also be like, "Oh my God, could we just go shopping instead?" Like,
Totally.
let's drop the mics. Like, can you like?
Well, I'd also be. I feel like she's also so real and honest that I'd be like, so what do you think of this whole show? And like,
Yeah.
what do we need to improve on? Like all those things.
Yeah, I think she would just be like a really fun person to be friends with, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I agree. I
about
also
you?
would love to have Alex Cooper on, which
Yeah.
I know you're like, ugh, eye roll.
No.
because it's like,
So, well, I mean, both of these people sound like very far off. I mean, and like, look, we should probably say in somebody like Martha Stewart. Like, I would love to have Martha sit
Oh,
down.
of course.
You know.
but I just
Um,
think like right now where we're at, because we're so in the podcast business, the way that Alex Cooper has managed to be so profoundly successful in this business, I would love to talk to her of just like where her mindset was in year 1, like what she changed in year 2, just
Yeah.
like how I would love to talk to her about the podcast business.
She is the founding father.
And I also feel like she hasn't, I mean, she's done like huge interviews, like Wall Street Journal, New York Post, all those things. But like, I want long form sit down, like teach me how to be successful in this.
Give me the rule book. Yeah.
Give me the rule book.
Yeah.
What's one topic you're scared but excited to cover?
This is a good question. I feel like just being moms and like how we were saying there's things that like you push back and question and like it's so taboo and like, oh, you can't talk about that. You'll be demonetized or, oh, don't go there. Like, I think that we need to be a little bit more fearless of having those tough conversations and like having like, I know we want our OBGYN. I think getting another pediatrician on, some naturopaths. Like, I think there's so many more alternatives to health with our children and like, the Make America Healthy Again. Like, I'm sorry, it's here and we're doing it. Like, we're removing dyes. Like, so how can we stop talking about all these things when like the world, we're doing these things. So I do think that we should be a little bit more ballsy of talking.
Yeah, I mean,
You're like,
you know me,
don't take away our
I'm
sponsors.
scared to talk about half the things, but I do think I avoid anything political.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
and
think
I'm not even
politics
talking
is now really crossing over into
Yes.
the health of our children, which is so important.
And that's what's
to me.
scary is like politics and motherhood, like, but
It's all
unfortunately it
combining.
is.
And
Yes.
so I think that for me is a scary topic because it's hard to like put out your views that are like really expansive. Like it's not so one lane.
Oh yeah, it's not like a linear like this is it. Yeah.
Right. So I think that you'll never hear from us. No, I'm kidding. If we could record anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Dubai. I don't know. I want to go to
off we
Dubai.
go. Oh, I would say like New York City.
Only mean,
because
that
for
is
me,
very, very attainable.
me.
I know.
No, but
let's go to Dubai. I want to get on a camel with you.
Let's go to Dubai. But I feel
we're
like
going
for
to the
me,
sand dunes.
like New York City is more
Hustle.
meaningful.
Yes.
Because it's like a city that I've always loved, that I've always been like, man, if I could work here, like that'd be amazing. So if I could like somehow
You're like, if I can make it there, I can make it anywhere.
But something that like I started that I'm passionate about.
We are packing these.
That I'm in a skyscraper building overlooking the city with a glass of champagne, being like, welcome to Camp Chaos.
You know what? That we can make that happen.
And Casey, we're making a reel of that when and if that happens. Okay, how do you hope Camp Chaos impacts moms in the next year?
You know, I feel like if there was an episode or something that was like for a new mom of like, hey, we've got you. We will be your community, whether we're talking about parenting, whether we're talking about mom friends, whether we're talking to doctors and specialists. Like, I just wish that when I was pregnant, I had this. So as much as I feel like our tribe is like people that have kids, like I think impacting the women that are pregnant and becoming moms.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I just think having moms trust us even more this year.
Yeah.
Like I said, us just being a voice for the community. And I love that what we talk about is not necessarily everything motherhood, because
totally. No, some of our best reviews are like women.
Up. Like, I don't want to hear you talk about the way that I should parent, what I need to worry about with my kids. Like, I want to listen to something mindless from a mom's perspective. Like, if we can continue to do that and continue to build up moms in that way, where we're just like, I don't know, talking about the Met Gala as if we have any authority on reviewing fashion. But
yeah. And no, I think it's like whether it's about fitness, whether it's about health, like mental health, like there's so many different ways of connecting with these women. And I do think like some of our best reviews and connections that we've had are with women that aren't even moms yet. So like it's not just about motherhood, like it's just about womanhood, which we've said from the beginning.
Yeah. Okay, well, let's just finish with like what we're most proud of this year of the podcast.
I am so proud that we're still sitting here.
Same.
That's it. I mean, I'm proud about so much, but like number one, I'm so proud that we've still done it.
I am so proud that we have released an episode every single week.
At least one.
Most weeks too. Like that is my dad's like, so what do you do with the podcast? You just sit there, you record and you put it out? I'm like, no, sir. Like, that's not how it is. But that's maybe how it comes across people. Like, putting out one episode a week is so hard. It is so much. It really is.
And like, you know, I think at the end of the day, the one thing that like going back to the question of like what people don't know behind the scenes, in the very beginning, like the first few months of how you and I combed through each episode and listening of take out this, take out that. And like, we were really trying to like polish it. Now we're like, throw it against the fire and like, it's fine. But like we would spend hours editing and like,
you guys,
I mean like hours, like sitting. I mean, don't you look back and be like, how did we spend this much time? But there was so much more effort that went into it other than just like, oh, this is cute. You get to sit and like talk and like put it out there. Like we put so much effort into that. And like, I'm really proud of that.
We really listened, I feel like, to what engagement was working or what people were liking, and then streamlined it in a different way. And it was also us being working moms of like, this is not possible to sustain, where like we were trying to put our kids down for naps and do laundry and be like, okay, can you listen to the first 45 minutes and I'll listen to the second 45 minutes and then we'll email. And we're doing notes like 0.01 second to 0.15. Like it was just.
But it's like everything's been such a learning experience and like has like gotten us to a really good place. But like it wasn't on accident. It was like, or like by chance, like it was like a lot that has come into this.
And the fact that we're still sitting here 1 year later, still putting out episodes, and we put out an episode every single week is like insane.
I know. What are we doing drinking coffee? We should have something
else celebratory. It's because we're so tired from all this hard work. Oh my God. Well, cheers, you guys.
Cheers.
To 1 year of Camp Chaos.
Thank you guys for being with us.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to Camp Chaos. We hope you enjoyed today's episode.
If you liked what you heard, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our show. Connect with us on social media at Camp Chaos Podcast. Until next time, campers.